Good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum and adab, distinguished guests and participants. Thank you very much for your coming together this morning to discuss on a very important topic, which is water stewardship. My name is Shamima Akhtar. I work as a Director for Corporate Affairs, Partnerships and Communications for Unilever Bangladesh Limited. And I'm delighted to, act as a host for today's morning session. This roundtable has been jointly organized by Unilever Bangladesh Limited, FICCI, Foreign Investors Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and WaterAid. And I cannot thank enough to WaterAid team for taking the initiative and bringing for the first time all the Chattogram industry players together here in this morning. I also like to thank Business Standard. Business Standard is our communication partner. They will be capturing the entire conversation, do a summary, and disseminate this information with the, through their media. So thank you very much for Business Standard team joining together. So now let me just shed a light why Chattogram. Chattogram is Bangladesh's second largest city, and of course we know that this is one of the big commercial, capital. These industries needs water for their production, and we all know that Bangladesh has been blessed with huge water bodies, right? That's the strength we have. But unfortunately, this natural resource hasn't been taken care by all of us well. We ignored the true economic value, and we have forgotten the collective responsibility to conserve water resource. There will be a lot of conversation, but let us all who are here together put our thoughts together. What are the best practices we are doing and what we should do more, because we know that we are not doing enough, especially to ensure the water in catchment area, right? That's where we have to focus more. Today, it's my pleasure and honor to invite many distinguished delegates we have today with us. Now, I would like to start our program, officially start our program. Let me request Mr. Jahangir Sadat, Director FICCI and Chairman KEPZ, to start his, opening remark.
In recent times, Bangladesh has reached to a new height globally in terms of economic growth through industrialization, but at the same time, it is a matter of concern that Bangladesh's rapid transformation through industrialization is inflicting threats to the environment, especially imposing serious threats to available water resources, and industries increasingly appear overly dependent on groundwater, and the demand will be ever increasing in the coming years. To meet this demand, excessive extraction of groundwater is causing the depletion of groundwater level in heavy industrial areas. These industrial zones are also the likely hotspots for the contamination of groundwater and quality deterioration of surface water. The depletion of groundwater level in turn causes shallow tube wells used by millions of households to become inoperative. I'll relate my personal experience on this at a later session where I have seen this happening in the vicinity of the Korean EPZ. As Chattogram, often termed as the country's commercial capital, houses a large array of industries that have a high dependency on water. The groundwater level in Chattogram city has declined by 20 meters over the past 40 years, with a 2.2 to 2.65 meters drop every year in recent years. I think WaterAid Bangladesh could more or less vouch for this, because these are my figures that I have gathered. The city's Kalughat industrial area. This industrial area has 134 industries on 34 hectares of land, which feeling a severe crunch in terms of growing production and water demand, which is likely to blow up on our face. Most importantly, water affects everyone. So we need everyone to take a concerted action.
Thank you, sir. So I will now request Javed Akhtar to give his speech. Why, as a FICCI director, you felt like this is an important topic and how we should proceed. Over to you.
Thank you, Sharma. It's actually quite surreal to sit here in a country of 700 rivers and talk about water stewardship. And this conversation, as you see, a big one is Chattogram has seen a depletion of water, its waterbed. And we do not have statistic, but my understanding would be Kalughat would actually see even significantly more depletion just because of the sheer amount of factories and industries that is there. And that's why I believe it's an opportune moment for us to leverage, because there is a huge amount of resources. If you look at Bangladesh Water Act 2013 or the National Water Management Plan, I mean, there are a lot of resources that's available. Even the Delta Plan, in fact, the Delta Plan, if you can execute, will unleash 2% of GDP growth for this country. And that puts us in a fantastic space. I personally believe many of this work is not because you should do it because it is only responsible, but I also believe because it is also good for business. Because if it's not good for business, businesses will not adopt. And that's why it's important. And the way I look at it, we've got factories in Kalughat and Fozdarhat. I've got two factories here. And the sustenance of the environment is critical for me to continue my business for the next 60 years. We've been in 60 years, and we have to be here another 60 years. And as Somnath was talking about, this is the third largest factory. And the vision of this factory is to become one of Unilever's mega factory. But the only way it's going to happen a mega factory is if we can sustain the environment and actually build that. FICCI, as I said, I've got quite a mouthful designation as a FICCI director, but one of the things that we do is around sustainability and trying to see how FICCI organizations can represent. Today, we have a lot of FICCI organizations within us as well, and the intent today is for all of us to talk about some of our experiences, because what I have seen, and we've been doing a lot of work in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we realize there's a fantastic piece of work that each organization are doing, and collectively it can be a fantastic force. And that's where the belief today is that if we can actually share and start sharing today, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for us to bring about some of the changes, because the biggest thing and the most difficult thing today is actually the change that we're talking about. And that's why FICCI is here and WaterAid is here and saying, can we actually use these two as a lever for us to collectively change what we want to do. So I won't talk about a lot about what is Unilever Bangladesh doing, because Somnath is supposed to say, I'm hoping you'll do a good job, Somnath, all the best. But I think it's not about what individual organization is doing, but the point is collectively what we can get out of it. And hopefully we can collectively get into an action where we could really take this forward. And my plea to everyone would be, take up a small geography where we will do intervention. And the reason is obviously Kalughat being one of the places I know is getting impacted. But can you actually then have a concerted effort to see how we can actually ensure water livelihood within that geography? So that's is sort of my, and this is not as Unilever CEO as well, but as a director of FICCI as well, because I believe that many of our organizations would actually benefit out of it, and that's what we replicate, because the idea of having small successes is that we are able to replicate to a larger geography, and we can roll it out for the country itself. So that's from me. Thank you so much, WaterAid, Asinapa, for the support, and also we'll lean towards you to guide us and direct us how we can actually improve. Looking at business standard as well, because I think media has a fantastic role to raise the awareness, and I know business standard has done some amazing work as well and great partnership. So yeah, we look forward to great partnership.
Thank you, Javed Akhtar. Now, of course, the light goes to Hasin Zahan Appa. Over to you.
Thank you so much. পানি অত্যন্ত মূল্যবান একটা রিসোর্স এবং ফাইনাইট রিসোর্স। এটাকে কিন্তু আমরা আমাদের নেক্সট জেনারেশনের জন্য রেখে যাওয়ার কথা মাথায় রাখছি না, তাই না? আপনার সন্তানের কাছে হয়তো টাকা থাকবে কিন্তু পানি থাকবে না, জীবনটা কিন্তু ভয়াবহ হবে। আমাদের উদ্দেশ্য যে ক্লাইমেট চেঞ্জের আলোকে যে পরিবর্তনগুলো হচ্ছে, এখানে আমরা কিভাবে বেটার ফিট করতে পারি এবং কিভাবে আমরা ন্যাচারাল রিসোর্সকে কনজার্ভ করতে পারি, অ্যান্ড দ্যাটস হোয়াই উই আর হিয়ার। আমাদের দুটো কাজ করা দরকার। একটা কাজ হচ্ছে আমার মাটির নিচের পানিটার অবস্থা বোঝা, কোয়ালিটি, কোয়ান্টিটি এবং এর বিপর্যয় কখন হতে পারে আমি যাতে একটা রিজার্ভটা বুঝি। আর একটা হওয়া উচিত সারফেস ওয়াটারটাকেও আমার মনিটর করা, কারণ সারফেস ওয়াটার অ্যান্ড অ্যাকুইফার আর ক্লোজলি ইন্টারলিঙ্কড। একটা চলে গেলে কিন্তু আর একটা নষ্ট হয়ে যাবে। সো এইটা বোঝা, সো বুঝে আমাদের আসলে অ্যাকশনে যেতে হবে। অ্যান্ড আই এম রিয়েলি হ্যাপি অ্যান্ড আমি আপনাদের কাছে গ্র্যাটিটিউড প্রকাশ করছি, কারণ আপনারা ইন্ডাস্ট্রি থেকে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছেন, অর্থাৎ আপনারা রিয়েলাইজ করছেন এরকম একটা ডায়লগ হওয়া দরকার এবং পানিকে সিকিউর করা দরকার ফর ইয়োর বেনিফিট। কিন্তু কারণ পানি না থাকলে আপনার বিজনেস চলবে না। এখন পানিটাকে রাখতে হবে এবং কিভাবে আমরা বাড়াতে পারি, অগমেন্ট করতে পারি, দ্যাটস ওয়াই উই আর হিয়ার। সো আমরা যেই কাজগুলি করতে পারি, খুব সংক্ষেপে যেহেতু সবাই আছেন এখানে সেজন্য বলা, আমরা দু একটা কাজও করেছি, অর্থাৎ 6টা ইন্ডাস্ট্রির সাথে আমরা কাজ করেছি, মোস্টলি গার্মেন্ট ফ্যাক্টরির সাথে। সেখানে আমরা রেইন ওয়াটার হারভেস্ট করেছি, অর্থাৎ আমরা পানিটা ধরে রেখে সেই পানিটাকে দিয়ে তারা ওয়াশিং ডাইং করছে এবং এর পিচ কম হওয়াতে, 5-এর চেয়ে কম হওয়াতে রেইন ওয়াটার হারভেস্টিং ওদের ট্রিট করা লাগে না, না হলে ট্রিট করে অ্যালকালাইন করে নিয়ে পানিটাকে ব্যবহার করতে হয়, অর্থাৎ তাদের বিজনেসে এটা সাশ্রয়ী হয়েছে। আমরা রিটার্ন অফ ইনভেস্টমেন্টও ক্যালকুলেট করেছি, এরকম কনস্ট্যান্ট যদি ওয়াশ একটা থাকে তাহলে আমরা দেখেছি অ্যারাউন্ড $7 রিটার্ন অন ইনভেস্টমেন্ট আসে। সো ওইটা সেপারেট স্টোরি, রিপোর্ট চাইলে পাবেন। যেটা আমি বলতে চাচ্ছি সেটা হচ্ছে যে সব ফ্যাক্টরিতেই কম আর বেশি, আপনারা অনেকেই ফ্যাক্টরি থেকে আসছেন, দেখবেন ফ্যাক্টরির ছাদটা থাকে এরকম টিনের চালের মতো, অথবা ছাদটা একটা বড় থাকে, সুতরাং আপনার প্রচুর পানি ধরার সুযোগ থাকে, এর জন্য বাড়তি কোনো খরচ নাই, শুধু পাইপলাইন দিয়ে আপনি এমনিও পানিটা নামান অমনিও নামান। সো আপনার অল্প একটু ইনভেস্টমেন্টে আপনি অনেক বেশি পানি ধরতে পারবেন, এবং পানি যেটুকু ব্যবহার করতে পারবেন না সেটা আবার রিচার্জ করে দেন। রিচার্জ করে দিলে আপনি আবার কোনো সময় পাবেন, অথবা আপনার প্রতিবেশী ইন্ডাস্ট্রি সেটা ভোগ করতে পারবে। সো দিস ইজ এ সর্ট অফ সলিউশন, দেয়ার আর মেনি, ওইটা নিয়ে আলাপ করব না, কিন্তু আমরা সামনের দিকে কি করতে পারি এটা নিয়ে একটু বক্তব্যটা এখনই দিয়ে দিই, যেহেতু জাবেদ ভাই আছেন, জাহাঙ্গীর ভাই আছেন, আপনাদেরও পরামর্শ পরে আসবে সবার কাছ থেকে। কিন্তু আমার কুইকলি আপনাদেরকে দেখে যেটা মাথায় আসলো, যে আপনারা যারা বিজনেস কমিউনিটি আছেন, আপনারা যদি একটা অ্যালায়েন্স ফর্ম করতে পারেন এবং আপনারা যদি রিসোর্স পুল করতে পারেন, খুব বেশি রিসোর্সের দরকার নাই, কারণ এখানে অ্যাওয়ারনেস হচ্ছে ইম্পর্টেন্ট, মাইন্ডসেট চেঞ্জটা মোর ইম্পর্টেন্ট, তারপরে যে যার ক্ষুদ্র তার সামর্থ্য অনুযায়ী তারা অ্যাকোমোডেট করতে পারবেন। সো অ্যালায়েন্স আপনারা যদি একটা ফর্ম করে একটা সিদ্ধান্তে আসেন, তাহলে আপনাদের প্ল্যাটফর্ম কিন্তু গভর্নমেন্টের সাথে বিভিন্ন পর্যায়ে ডায়লগ করতে পারবে। এবং শুধু তাই না, আপনারা এই কাজটা করে, এই অ্যাক্সেলারেটিং চেঞ্জের এই পলিউশনটাকে হ্যান্ডেল করে কিন্তু SDG 6-কে সরাসরি ওয়াটার পলিউশন রিলেটেড গোল এবং ইন্ডিকেটরে টাচ করতেছেন। কিন্তু সরকার এটা কিন্তু এখতিয়ারে নেয় না যে আপনারা কি কন্ট্রিবিউট করতেছেন। হেয়ার কামস ওয়াটার-এইড, আমরা যেই চেষ্টাটা করতে পারি, আপনাদেরকে লিঙ্ক করতে পারি, যাতে সরকার এটাকে সিস্টেমের মধ্যে আনতে পারে এবং আপনাদের কন্ট্রিবিউশনটাকে SDG অর্জনের কন্ট্রিবিউশন হিসেবে অ্যাকনলেজ করতে পারে।
Thank you, Hassin Appa. And I will request Dr. Tanvir Ahmed, Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, IT and BUET, to give his keynote presentation. Over to you.
Thank you very much. We have rivers surrounding us, and we see there are these yellow or yellow circles here. You see these are industrial pockets which has been grown up, which has grown mostly beside the industries, mostly beside the rivers, and these industrial pockets are discharging untreated wastewater into all of these various rivers. Now the Buriganga, the Shitalakha, Dhaleshwari, Balu, whatever rivers, Turag, whatever rivers we have, they have been contaminated with industrial discharges as well as untreated domestic waste. And we see that the projection says that the domestic wastewater is going to increase only up to 2030. The projection is just that everything is going to increase if we do not take care of it. Now this has destroyed the river ecosystem here in Dhaka city, and you know that we are in Dhaka city, it is surrounded by rivers, so the water supply of the citizens of Dhaka city, it should not have been a problem, because these rivers carry enormous amount of water, but these rivers have become wastewater canals, and treating this water for drinking purpose is as similar to treating wastewater, and you cannot it is not financially viable to treat this water and to convert it into suitable drinking water. The investment is huge, and that is why we are not, although we are surrounded by rivers, we are not being able to use that water for useful drinking purpose. And that's why Dhaka Wasa is still dependent on what? On its groundwater resources. And since groundwater is being depleted rapidly, there is a concern for that. So Dhaka Wasa, what is Dhaka Wasa doing? It is trying to collect drinking water from distant water sources like Meghna or the Podda. Meghna this way, it's almost 30-40 kilometers away. And collecting water through making large investments, because the water quality in Podda and Meghna is still probably better than compared to what we have here. The groundwater depletion has occurred, and mostly where? In the northern parts of Dhaka, inside Dhaka as well, and also near Rajshahi, this area. This area, due to huge irrigation, inside Dhaka it's a domestic water consumption, northern and surrounding Dhaka areas because of the industrial extraction. And this figure was published in the WRG 2030 report, highlighting the fact that excessive groundwater extraction has shown a measurable decrease in the groundwater resources from 2004 to 2010. And it can only worsen if we continue to, if we do in the business as usual scenario. So 70% increased demand is forecasted, and in many areas of Dhaka city we find that figure as almost 3 meters per year groundwater is declining, and we see that it's almost around 2 and 2.5 meter per year in Chattogram as well. We see there some studies have been done on Karnafuli River before, and these are collected through various peer-reviewed publications, mostly done by the researchers in Bangladesh. So what they basically found is that the water quality is gradually decreasing mostly. Especially this is a very important parameter called dissolved oxygen, which kind of single-handedly represents the quality of water of any water body. So and the higher it is, the better it is. So this study has found that it's below the healthy below the limit for healthy aquatic life in most places. But Karnafuli River has not reached that state yet. But if this kind of continues, there is a possibility that we will be crossing that tipping point very soon. So we have to be very vigilant here. In Dhaka city, basically our water supply is groundwater based currently. And we take only 20% water from surface water sources. The Dhaka Wasa is trying to reverse that. But Chattogram city has already taken steps, because its basic water supply is it's already dependent on the Halda and Karnafuli River. So we see that there are some groundwater sources. Basically, in the Kalurghat area, there's a groundwater based treatment plant in Kalurghat area, but that's the only AIRP that Chattogram Wasa has. And the remaining water is coming from Karnafuli River and 2 coming from Halda River. And this constitutes the major part of the city's water supply currently. This Karnafuli River will become a very important source for water supply. Now, the industries which are mostly located downstream are discharging pollutants in this area. Now, if this becomes excessive, the similar thing that has happened for Shitalokha River can also happen here. As this pollutant, as I mentioned, due to this tidal nature of the river, some part of the pollutant can go upstream, all the way some up to Halda River, can affect Halda River, also upstream of Karnafuli River, if the pollutant discharge is excessive. So we have to be very careful here. The city is planning its future water consumption scenario based on Karnafuli River, mostly. It is upgrading the Sheikh Hasina water treatment plant or to the Sheikh Russell water treatment plant. There will be another water treatment plant based on Karnafuli River here, and it's going to derive more water from there. If the Karnafuli River, another downside is that if the Karnafuli River gets polluted to that degree, to a degree that which water is not extractable for drinking water consumption, then Department of Environment might come in and declare this whole area as an ecologically critical area, and that would be very much detrimental. That means that you will not be able to install industries in this area anymore.
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। আমাদের সঙ্গে আছেন মিস্টার সোমনাথ, ফ্যাক্টরি ডিরেক্টর, ইউনিলিভার বাংলাদেশ লিমিটেড।
Much before the environmental social governance started in industry, Unilever has been doing pioneering works in conserving water. So we started this journey as part of our working philosophy from 2010 onwards. You can see that this is the water that we consume for our products. So what are the products we make? We make Lux, Lifebuoy, we make all the shampoos, we make all lotions, which consume a good amount of water. But then look at the trajectory that we have taken. So we had started the work, as I said, somewhere in early 2000s, where the target given us every year was to reduce. So this is the specific consumption of water for every ton of product that we make. So we have almost achieved almost 39% reduction in our water consumption. You can see that our production, we have little bit of increase, which is mainly because of our our technology of making shampoos and the changeovers that we are taking increasing. But again, we want to continue this journey for this decade also. So this is the number that speaks for itself. This is well published data within the annual targets as well as in our yearly targets. How it was achieved in the video which was just presented. So one of the common ones which we started from 2013 onwards is rainwater harvesting. Like any other industry, we are also doing that. There is, you can see we have almost saved 90 million liters of water. So all that water benefit goes into this reduction targets. This is something which is as common as it gets, which is under the, so we are trying to use as much of natural water as available as possible. And after utilizing it from all the waste, again we have been able to save 129 million liters of water. That translates to roughly about 12,900 tons. And that we again feed it back to the boilers for generating steam. Dr. Ahmed was talking about ETP. We have a fantabulous ETP, which is one of the biggest one in Kalurghat industrial area, where we have a maximum processing capacity to the tune of 400 metric tons per day. So we generate almost about 150 to 200 tons of wastewater from our shampoos, lotions, and then what we do is we reduce or we take out all the waste and reduce the TDS, COD, BOD, and then discharge it into the outside environment. We want to save additional 14 to 15,000 tons of water in this year, and in the next 6 years, our target internally from 2024 to 2029 is what we call as net zero in 23 operations.
Can I request, Jahangir Sadar sir to, present the KEPZ practices?
Thank you. I'll be rather brief, as you just said. First of all, we are not in Kalughat. My project, Korean EPZ, is in Anwara. It's about 15 minutes from the airport, but from here it's be about another 40 minutes. Just to give you a brief about the background of KPZ, we got this land, 2,492 acres, about 2,500 acres. This is the situation, the land, just virtual wasteland. And this is a water famine area in 1999. And our first task was to find out the reason why. And this was for extraction of groundwater by two heavy industries nearby. And the water had gone so much below the Akfa that it led to hundreds of thousands of people suffering from water shortage. There was no, the tube wells wouldn't work. So the first thing we did in KPZ was to create water bodies in 458 acres of land. And this led to a gradual accumulation of rainwater, 100% rainwater here. Annually we conserve over 500 million gallons of rainwater alone. And our target is to enhance this by another 7 water bodies to take it to a total of 1 billion. This is our target of rainwater. Now, rainwater harvesting in KPZ has led to a number of benefits. These are: 1, recharging of the aquifer; 2, improvement of the environmental conditions, the reemergence of flora and fauna in the area; ample water in neighboring villages; and stoppage of siltation at the outfall, and stoppage of flooding in the adjoining areas. Now, it has, you can see from this slide, can you go back just one slide? Yes. The benefits, recharging of the aquifer. Now we are teaching the villagers how not to waste water. And I'll be very brief. I had a lot of things to say, but we have gone past the time. And our lakes and water bodies have migratory birds. We have now 137 species of birds in KPZ. And second, the wastewater management. We are fully equipped wherever required with wastewater treatment and effluent treatment plants. And our water treatment plant and ETP are the latest and state-of-the-art.
Thank you very much. I know Mr. Maksud Alam just arrived a little late, but this topic I'm sure you hear every day. So, and industries have given their best practices. But what you see is, what is happening currently in Chattogram, and how CWASA can help this, work with the industry and help to restore Chattogram, water management, together. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Up to 2009, in the Chattogram city, there is a scarcity of water throughout the city. But after 2009 to 2021, we have implemented 3 projects. And under the 3 projects, now our surface water supply capacity is 460 MLD. So, we extract water by deep tube well only 2 or 3 MLD. So now our capacity is up to 480 MLD, and our demand is 500 MLD, near to 500 MLD. And still there are some scarcity of water in some hilly areas and also some endpoints of the consumers. So we are working for this one, and World Bank also help us, and they are going to, they are already started feasibility study, and we think it will finish soon. And we also consider there in the all industry, EPZ, and also in the other side of the river, we are going to implement another treatment plan, 60 MLD treatment plan.
Thank you so much for reassuring the different projects that you are taking. Dear participants, this is the time we should close. You have given us the patient hearing. As mentioned that this is the first step, I will hand over this responsibility to Somnath, our factory director, who will be contacting you in the future, and WaterAid has assured us that they will always be with us. And let's do our part and ensure that SDG 6 is achievable and attainable, because industries are taking responsible step for accelerating change. Close this event with a warm note. Thank you very much.